So I'm going to turn you guys loose with my dad this week. You're going to have a blast.
Did you learn anything? And it should be kind of interesting since I don't have any brakes on it. But I told them that ahead of time, and so they know.
Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for watching our channel. We've got over 50,000 subscribers. That's pretty awesome. I just want to say thank you. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching us. Thanks for the good comments. Thanks for the bad comments. It helps us. In my shop tonight, somebody gave us a little kid's razor that my boys are fixing up. We can't get spark to it. Not sure what the problem is. It was kind of tore apart when we got it, so we're working on it. Shop's a mess, but it's ranching time. Next week we ship our calves, so we're gathering cows all this weekend, all next week. So my dad's on his own. So he's got a project. He's got some gate projects for a driveway, and he's gonna start building those. So I'm gonna turn you guys loose with my dad this week. You're gonna have a blast. He's a good time. You guys have liked him so far. I like him a bunch, so I hope you guys like him. He's excited. We'll go up to my dad's and he can take over, and let's see if we can get some gates built.
Well, it's another beautiful day in southern Utah. I've got a new project. I pulled the truck out of the shop because I'm waiting on parts for it. I'm going to turn this drawing into a gate. So I got this pile of steel yesterday. See, there's several different sizes in there. Today my plan is to get this all cut up. Some of it I got to roll with my tubing roller and make it round. I would like to be able to get this thing done next week. I've got this sheeting that's going to go on the outside of the gates because they're going to be a privacy gate. Should be interesting to see how it all comes together. Anyway, you can follow me along today while I figure out exactly what all I need to cut and how I need to cut it. Some of these are going to have to be added onto because they're only 20 foot long, and they got to be about 20 foot 10 inches. Okay, I had to take a minute and clean part of the shop up. Couldn't get on the table. Now you can. Couldn't get my rolling machine out. Now you can. What I've got here is a tubing roller. They roll all different sizes, and the plan is to take these 1.5 by 2 inch squares, and I'm going to put a curve in them. You can see to my drawing is going to go from 6 foot down to 5 foot in the middle. I got to put it in this machine and curve it, and it actually works fairly good. Takes a little persuasion to get this heavier wall stuff to go through it, but it works pretty good. I got one rolled. Now I got 3 more to do. Just like that, they're all rolled. You got a nice arch to them. This little machine works pretty good. Yeah, now on to the next part. And now I just got to start cutting that up. For my hinges, I'm putting these big heavy Schedule 40 3-inch pipe on the end, and then I've got a piece of drill steel that just fits snug inside of there, and then I'll weld a piece of angle iron on the end of it to hook it to the posts that are already cemented in the ground, and that makes a really nice hinge. I've done it on a couple of other gates and they just work awesome. So I'm doing it to this one. The only thing is I've got to make these square tubings about 1.25 inches longer. So I've marked me out a template, and you can see the line. I got to cut that out so it welds around that pipe nice. And I was going to grind them, and I decided, you know what, I think I'm just going to mill those. Okay, so I got those all done. They turned out pretty good. Now they fit right over the pipe, just like they're supposed to. And I can weld them onto the square tubing, lengthen them a little bit, and it'll fish mouth the pipe just perfect. I've got my piece welded in to the end, and now I'm welding my archway together. This arch will be an under arch instead of an over arch, but I don't have a roller that will roll 3-inch. So I roll 1.5 inches and then weld 2 of them together, and it's going to give me the same thing. So now I just got to weld that together down through here in places, flip it over, and I'll be ready to weld that one gate together. So I'm getting pretty close. I think I got to add like maybe 3 inches to the end of this, because it's going to come out a little shorter now that I arched it. But we're going to see here shortly. Okay, well, the gate is pretty well welded. I've got to cut pickets and put in every 4 foot. And then I got to cut cross braces to go this way to stiffen this old gal up. However, David is on to a different project. He's got his clean 1 Chevrolet in here, 1970 something, and it's getting a seed out of an 80 something or a 90 something in it. 90 something.
I think it's a 90 something.
Trying to put a little love into the old Chevy, and he's loving it.
Doing what we can.
There you go. Well, the seat is done. David sat in it and said it feels perfect.
I don't think we got a video of my old seat. We should have.
Oh, I hauled it to the dump.
It's a piece of junk.
Yeah, it'll blend in well up there. Well, I'm back in the shop today. This one's just about ready for all the cross braces to go in it. And then I'm going to see if I can get the other one put together. Holy moly, what a busy morning. I got all the gate done though. I ended up squaring it, and I had to cut 1.25 inches off of this end and move it in. But it's all together. I just gotta grind these little welds just a little bit so the mesh will lay flat. And then I'm gonna stand it up and weld the other side of everything. And then this one's all done but the mesh. Doesn't look like a lot of work, but that's a lot of work when you get a curved gate. It's not just like throwing a square one together, because every cut's different. I had some friends came and took my wife and I to lunch. We got back and I was gonna start welding on this gate, finish welding. I turned it up so I could weld the back side of everything. I got this stuff to do all over, so I can get ready to put the sheeting on. And my friends had never been in a rock crawler, so I took my rock crawler out and we went rock crawling, and time kind of got away from us, and now it's almost 5 o'clock. So I'm going to take about 20 minutes and finish welding the rest of this gate so I can get started on the next gate. There's the arch for it, and there's all the rest of it stacked right there and over there. Getting ready to lay this next gate out. My arch has a little too much arch, so I'm going to roll it over and walk on it and straighten it out a little bit. See if I can get both of them welded together. I got the one welded, now I just got to do this other one, and then I can start sheeting them. Just got to cut my cross braces and put in it now. Flip it over and weld the other side. So hopefully I can get this thing up and ready and start sheeting these this afternoon. That would be great. Now I got a helper that's going to help me this afternoon. We're going to do some welding, huh, Rhett? Are you the welder guy? You're going to be, huh? You don't really have your welding pants on or your welding shoes, so you'll have to stand back a little ways, huh? So you don't get a spark on you. Yeah. All right, we're gonna weld all these little cross braces in, and Rhett's gonna be my helper. We got all of our braces welded in. Was it fun, Rhett? Did you learn anything? Stay away from the sparks, huh? Yeah. We better go find something to snack on, huh? All righty. Well, my help quit me, but I got this gate all welded. I think he decided it was funner to hang out with Grandma and eat popsicles. And I'm out of popsicles down at the shop, so guess I better get some more. Anyway, I just got to do a little grinding on this now. And then this gate and that one are ready for sheeting. Okay, well, now I'm to the hinge point of my gates. And so what I've decided to do, since I did it on a different gate, is I've got these ends, and this is drill steel, And if you turn the rust off of this just a little bit, these fit down in this pipe really nice. And then you weld a piece of angle iron off of here, 6-inch angle down, so it goes down in there, and that's your hinge. Then you weld the angle iron to the 6x6 posts that we got concreted into the ground. Okay, well, I got all the pins cut. Got them all turned down so they look good. They slide down in the holes, spin good. So now what I gotta do is I gotta take a piece of angle iron and I gotta cut a hole this size so this will slip through the angle iron, and I'll cut the back of it off and weld it onto the angle iron. And then the angle iron, I'll weld it onto the posts, and that'll make an extremely heavy duty hinge. So I'm getting ready to cut this sheeting. Got my little nibbler, and it cuts this tin really well. I got all of it cut. Now I've just got to weld it all down. All right, this day is gone. I got all the sheeting on that one. That one's just got to be ground up just a little bit. I want to smooth them welds up a little. And then I decided, rather than try to weld at it so thin, I'm just going to put like 2 or 3 screws in there to keep it so it don't rattle. Self-tappers. This is so thin it burns holes easy, and I don't want a bunch of holes in it. So that's what I'm going to do. Maybe even rivets. We'll see. I've got this one gate pretty much done. I've just got to do a little finish grinding on it to smooth the ends up where I welded caps on the tubes. But I got this other gate over here, and I'm going to go ahead and lay it down and start cutting sheeting out for this side. I've got this all cut out, all but the last sheet, and I run out. So as soon as Schultzens gets here, I'll have another sheet to put on that. But anyhow, I'm going to start welding that. And then I've got to put some kind of a gate latch on here so you can open it from the outside or the inside. But I'll put a lock on the inside so he can lock it if he wants. Well, I'm making progress. I got those all tacked. Now I got to do the ends, the top and the bottom, while I wait for my other sheet of steel to get here. It came to my attention as soon as I got part of the sheeting tacked on that I was putting the sheeting on the wrong side. So when the gates were closed, sheeting on this one would be on that side, and sheeting on the other one would be on the other side. So I took the sheeting off, and I'm cutting these cross braces off and moving them to this side. And then I'll lay the gate the other way and weld them on. Should have paid a little more attention to that, I guess. That's what happens when you have too many people stop by the shop and distract you. Oh well, I'll fix it. Not a big deal, just a pain in the butt. Okay, another day is done. I told you about my little mishap with the gate. I got it all turned around. I got the sheeting all welded on the right way this time. So now these two gates will meet right here. Okay, I kind of got busy. Forgot to show you what I was doing. What I've done is I've took a torsion bar and I've turned it down, and I got a piece of pipe. I turned it down and I made a bushing. And this is what my gate lock is gonna work off of. I wanted something solid so if you grabbed a hold of it, it wouldn't break, instead of like a piece of pipe. And this, I can take this and just cut a hole through the mesh right there, and then I can weld it all the way across there. That'll make it nice and strong. This is what I'm thinking. I got this here, get that bushing. I'm going to cut this off about right here somewhere, and I'm going to weld a handle on it, and it's going to go on the outside of the gate. Then I'll drill a hole in this right in the center, run it down through there, and weld it, and then I'll put a handle on this end on the back side of the gate. Then it'll just rotate like that and lock the gate in a wide area, because I think the wind's going to catch this a lot, and I don't want it to break the lock off and swing open. So that's what I'm doing. So I kind of live out in the sticks, and I don't have access to a lot of stuff. I don't want to order it offline and wait for 2 weeks. I make things. I'm going to drill this and put a grease zert in it. So I took this 1/4-inch nut and rethreaded it so this grease zert will screw right in it, just like so. And I'm going to weld it on there, and then I will drill a hole in it, and I can shoot grease into that. This is what I've come up with. I used a Volkswagen torsion bar to make my pin out of, and I decided, you know what, that's pretty cool. Why don't I just use the rest of the axle, and I'll buff it off, and I'll make that my handle. I think that'll be awesome. It's got this heavy ball out on the end that'll help keep it locked or help keep it open. I got my latch done. This is how it's going to work. You'll unlock it that way and lock it that way. I'll have something right here to hook it, and then this side will hook up under the other gate. Turns easy. I've put a stopper on it. Got my lock. Swing up there, that will stop it. That'll lock it so it doesn't walk that way. I'm going to put a little tab right off of here and off of there, and put a lock, a place for a padlock right there if he wants to lock it. Like the new specs? Yeah. I got a couple of cataracts, and they told me they wouldn't fix them until they got a little worse. So they got me some glasses, and it's a new life. I'm going to put some rivets in. I got one rivet right there. Did a test rivet just to see how it would work. I ordered stainless steel rivets, and I called my son Anthony, and he says, hey, I got this gun. Look at that. Milwaukee makes a rivet gun. I didn't know that. He says, you need to try it. So he brought it over, and I put the one rivet in. And now I'm going to start drilling holes. I think it's going to take something like 60 rivets by the time I'm done. So I thought, yeah, I'll just try it out. And if I like it, maybe I'll go buy one. All right, I got all the pop rivets in. That tightens it right up. Makes it so it's going to work great. The other gate's going to be about 1.5 inches from this one, and I got to make the locks so that they lock on both gates. It's going to take half the shop to line them up so that they'll come together, and I can see exactly where my latches need to be. I don't know about you guys, but that is a big gate. 2 of them. 41 foot, 2.5 inches wide. I want a lock to go right here, and I'll put another one right here so it locks it. And that should be good. And those are big. They take up 3/4 of the room across my shop here. It's just nuts. And I think I'm going to drill holes in these so that they don't get full of water, because this top piece is made out of 2 pieces, so it's going to leak water through there, and it's definitely going to get water in it. So we'll drill a hole so the water leaks out, and then he won't have a problem with it splitting. Okay, so I got these things ground up pretty good. They're nice and smooth. I found this chunk of square steel, and I'm going to mill it down so it just fits down into there, and that'll add a little weight. So when the gate's down, the handle's down, it puts a little weight on this end to help hold it so that it doesn't have to have a keeper in it. It's going to fit just like that, and it's tight. So I'll go weld it in. That's going to work great. push it down a little bit, it falls right back. Then when it's up, it'll hold itself up because it's just past center. Welded the plug in. Might have to put a little grease in that grease zerk. I've got a couple of semi trucks coming into town. They're delivering a new indoor building arena for the fair, and so I got to go up and unload it with my forklift. And it should be kind of interesting since I don't have any brakes on it. But I told them that ahead of time, and so they know. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do first thing, and then I'll be back down here working on my gates. Got to finish the hinges today, and then I got a 4-foot walk-through gate I got to build. Well, the truck's here. Let's get this thing unloaded. Well, I got this truck unloaded. Sean showed up. He helped me quite a bit.
It was an ordeal, especially with no brakes.
We got it off without...
It's off the truck.
I got to drill and put grease zerks in these ends. And then I've got to get some pins that will drop, foots that drop right here so they can peg one gate open or the other gate open. They go into the ground. He'll have a pipe in the ground to hold it. So if he only wants one gate open, the other one doesn't blow in the wind. I heated my pins up and bend them. Where the nail holes are, it kind of stretched that hole out. So I'm going to weld that a little bit. I think it did the same on that one. Yeah, it did. So I'm going to weld those a little bit, and then they're good. I've got all my guides cut out and my handle locks cut out. These will go just like this, and you'll pull the handle up and lock it in there. I got the latches on both of them, that one and that one. It'll lock in like that, lock out like that. Got them all ground up. They're ready to load on the trailer. Got my grease zerks in so I can grease the hinges. I've been working on the hinges. This is what I've come up with. I go down in there like that, and then this welds to the square tube that's already cemented into the ground. Then they just hinge. I thought I was all finished with these gates, and I got looking. Had my grease zerks on there, right here. They're on the wrong spot. They need to be right there. Otherwise, when the hinge hinges around the angle iron, it's gonna wipe them right out. So I'm gonna thread some more nuts, cut those off, plug the holes, and move them around. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.